The red light is on, and we're back at the Guitar Portal with Barry and Jesse. Have you guys ever seen Jesse? He's right there. Okay, so we were doing this white room thing, and I kind of just, winged that one because, I know the song well, but I haven't broken it down for this stuff before, so I hope that was all right. And we're going to talk about the chorus about that later, but today we're going to talk about Sunshine of Your Love. Probably the most, as far as I'm concerned, the most famous riff or motif in rock music. Motif being a short theme. And people always play this wrong. They play it in different keys. They play it over here, and up. I learned it wrong too, but I know the right way now. And so this is in the key of D also, like a white room. And the Cream, once again, is Jack Bruce bass line, a tremendous line. Over all the years I've been teaching, everybody recognizes this one. And it's a good way to get people into scales who didn't want to play scales before that because they thought it was boring or frustrating. And it's all written inside the D blues scale. But when the... Sorry. So, but we're going to talk about how he really plays it. When he gets going, he's using these bar chords, dominant seventh. Leave it to Clapton to do that. So this makes it a lot tougher song than you might think. So now let's get a close-up on this and see what happens. Sunshine of Your Love, the 1967 classic. 1967? How old was I then, Jesse? I don't want to talk about it. All right, let's do a close-up and see what happens. Okay, so here we are. By the way, here's the D blues scale. That's one octave. Looks like a pentatonic scale with that note in there, known as a flat 5. They call it a blues note. But flat 3s and flat 7s are blues notes too. What? Don't worry about it. So look here. Second octave. So in your pentatonic scale, you're putting in these two notes from the same note. They're an A flat, which is known as a flat 5. Because in the key of D, the 5 is A. So an A flat would be a flat 5. Okay, so, and when I was a kid, we never heard this pentatonic stuff. It was all blues scale, okay, which is just about the same thing. So, the song starts with this famous riff. I slide into that D note. If you don't slide, don't worry about it. And I go to an F note. This F note could be played in the scale. So, but everybody, including Uncle Jack who wrote it, puts it here because it's smoother. Long before I knew what I was doing those shifts because all my heroes were doing it. All right, so there's a reason for that. It's just the way it rolls, it flows, okay? So we hear that riff twice in the beginning of the song. Notice I tug that note. And that's a vibrato, okay? So I'll do that again, a little tug vibrato. If you leave it out, no big deal until you get used to it, but you want to, you want to spice this up. At that point, the whole band kicks in, and that's when you hear that bar chord come in. So before we go any farther, it's an E-type bar chord, as you see, but an E7 type. So finger 1's taking the place of this nut here, as they call it, up on the 10th fret. Looks like an E7. Now it's up here. No pinky. So this is, if this is a tough chord for you, practice, would you? So again, that note, Remember, it could be right from the scale. It's just put over here in the 8th position, and I'll do that again. Okay, but now instead of this, we're going to have same 2 notes, D, F, D. That's a D to his minor third. Don't worry about that now, but later we will talk about that. We have already on the portal talked about some of this theory stuff. So I'm going to take those same notes and put them here. There's your D note, same as that, an octave higher. And here's your F. But I'm going to take the F and I'm going to hold 2 strings down. That's called a double stop. A double stop, okay? Because you're stopping 2 notes. And I kind of tug that towards the floor. And if you have distortion on like I do, it'll create that psychedelic sound. So listen. At that point, if they play it twice with these heavy chords, then they sing it. And when they sing it, they do it 4 times. We're going to repeat that before we have any change. So I'll play it from the intro into that. Whole band kicks in. Okay, at that point, we go down to G. G is the 4 in the key of D. Like a 1-4-5 progression. And this kind of loosely follows a 12 bar, how that works. It goes 1 to the 4, back to the 1. So we come down here to the 4 G, and we repeat the same riff over the G chord, the 4 of D. So it repeats there. I played it first with the G chord. The second time I played with G7, but you should play it with the full G, with the pinky in there. Because Uncle Eric does it that way too, I'm pretty sure. So I do that again. Same things up here. Just down here now. Twice, and then back up here for 2 more. At this point, A, C, G, A, strum with the triplet, C, G, triplet, C, G, gallop that triplet. So we completed one verse there. That chorus was an A, a triplet. 1 and a C, G, and then repeat the triplet. And that triplet I'm going down, up, down, C, G, down, up, down, C, G, and I'm going to 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3. That double stop is cool, huh? Psychedelic or what? That just used to send me when I was a kid. Okay, so as my webmaster pointed out, when I was saying this is an E-type bar chord, it looks like an E chord with a bar on it. I went to show you down here, and I guess I went out of the camera's length. So yeah, so when they say an E-type bar chord, it looks like an E chord with a bar on it. And I can make it into an E minor type bar chord. I can make it into a 7 and so on. So that shape, if you know this bar chord, you can play 12 different chords with that. Make it a 7th chord, like I said, take the pinky out, and you got 12 7th chords. So, not to get away with what we're doing, but either way, make sure you know that this is where this comes from. Back when this song came out, every other song you heard was littered with bar chords. These guys helped pioneer the power chord, but they wouldn't use it constantly like you would eventually see Black Sabbath right around the corner a few years later doing it, you know, and Led Zeppelin and then everybody else after. became the major chord of the 80s. So you can play the song with the power chord, but it won't be authentic. Like I said, Uncle Eric, when you listen to the beginning of that song, you can really hear these cool tones coming out. It's because he's got the bar chord. Most people don't realize that. They'll play it here. I mean, that's all right, but it's not authentic, and it's not half as cool and hip. Not to mention, this chord is not for sissies. Okay, so D loves G and A. Remember that from those lessons back? All right, so this is for going D 4 times, G 2 times, D 2 times. This is like a 12 bar up to the point where the bridge should be, and then we see A where the bridge should be, but then it puts a C G fashion in there. But it still kind of follows that 12 bar in D, which would be 4 Ds, 2 Gs, 2 more Ds, and then A, G, D. So you don't see that in the chorus here, but it's with a little bit of inspection, you can definitely go, oh yeah, huh. They were greatly influenced by the blues. That's where rock came from. Sunshine of Love, Jack Bruce, Peter Brown. Peter Brown was the lyricist of the Cream. He didn't play an instrument or did not appear on stage, but he wrote some darn good lyrics. And if you don't know these guys, you owe it to yourself. You play guitar, you got to check it. Clapton brought in the Marshall amplifier. He saved Gibson from going out of business in the 60s because everybody was playing Fender. He taught me about the blues when I was a kid. I went on and studied so many other different things, just all because of that. So they're amazing people, and every one of those guys, the drummer is brilliant, the bass player is brilliant, the guitar player is brilliant. And bear in mind, the bass player and drummer had actual musical educations. Back in the day, most people didn't. Most people, Clapton back then was all, an ear player, self-taught ear player. Didn't use his ear to play, he used his hands, but he heard everything with his ears. Or don't we all? All right, not to ramble, so fool with this, and we'll talk later. Eventually we'll do the solo in this too, which is another very hip thing he throws in there. All right, I'll see you later. Hope you got this.